Scream, obviously, like in my mind, the best player at the game right now. So it was like a that was who we wanted.
Welcome to the show, Slig. Well, how are you doing? You just joined Team Liquid, and I think we all want to know a lot about this because we expected you to go to someplace big, but I mean, this is an amazing result for everyone who knows you. Everyone's super happy for what you guys have managed to achieve.
Yeah, it's been a while in the works. It's been a lot of work from my side and everyone in like our team. But yeah, I'm really happy, man. I couldn't really imagine us in a better place than this. So it already feels like home.
I mean, you guys must have had a lot of offers, given the fact that you guys had such a strong record right out of the gate. And it's not just that you had like a strong record, but I think people didn't really expect a bunch of British guys, with that sort of, I guess we have this precedent set for whatever reason that in Brits in tactical FPS, we've been let down in CS:GO in many senses, and so I think it was really surprising to see a lineup of mostly Brits do so well. So, what's it been like in terms of like the offers you were getting, the success that you were having? Did it feel like a surprise to you guys to do so well?
Yeah, we don't have the best background as much as UK esports goes, but it was one of those things where past 3 months I've probably worked the hardest I've ever worked. I'm quite a hard worker anyway, but this has been like next level stuff really. We expected to, I mean, we set out as Fish 123. We set out to win everything. Like, I didn't think we expected to win everything. But we definitely set out with that goal. So I'm happy that we got there. And then, yeah, in terms of offers, we had a few offers, but Liquid is just the complete obvious choice.
And with that said, I want to make sure that everyone gets their questions in here. So feel free to jump in, Paolo and Sean, if you have anything you want to ask Connor here.
Yeah, Connor. I know, bro. I have a bunch of questions. Let me start off with the first, then. In terms of the passage of time, like, why did you start focusing so much on Valorant? Being someone that's one of the most renowned CS:GO observers, you have like a behind-the-scenes role, so to speak. I guess you still have that here, but it's you switched to being a Valorant coach. I noticed early on you were spending loads of time like playing the game, talking about different things, and how did that switch happen for you?
I mean, it was a bit kind of similar to the Astralis players, where everything turned to online, and I just felt a bit burnt out. I did a few online events, and it didn't have the same feel, and I just wanted something new. I had already, like the last I did Flashpoint. It didn't have like, I don't know. I wasn't as motivated. I didn't enjoy it as much, so I just wanted something new. I've always wanted to do coaching, and yeah, this just kind of came at a perfect time. Like the game was released, I really wanted to play it. I played it. It just felt there was just so many options of like stuff you can do. So I was like, yeah, this was the thing for me, man. Like I just wanted to dedicate time. These 5 guys were playing together anyway. And so I was speaking to them. I kind of was like weighing up if I wanted to do player side or if I wanted to do coach side. And then I was just like looking at my age and looking at everything that's going on. It's like probably I could maybe do it for 6 months, maybe, but like there's no, like I should just accept it early and just go for the coaching role. So yeah, it's something I wanted to do for a long time. And then with the game coming out and being so similar to CS, and actually being like a solid, like the beta release was really good. So yeah, so I just went for it. And yeah, it's never looked back really.
That's super interesting. That's something I thought at the end of CSGO with all the observers we had. I was like, I know these observers could be analysts or coaches on teams, just because in order to watch a game and know where the action is going to happen, you have to have a good idea of a default and who's going to take engagements and where the trading is going to happen and who to watch in certain situations. So those people are typically very knowledgeable, honestly, to be able to control the cam in CS. So it's pretty cool to see you as a coach on Liquid. I have a question. What's your guys' practice schedule like? Because I have a decent idea of what the NA teams are like. And I'm curious what your guys and like how often are the other top EU teams playing?
So practice schedule right now, we do like an hour server time, and then just one of every map. So just 4 hours of play time. So it gets to about 5 hours a day, but we play every single day. So as much as we possibly can.
And like when you guys play, is it a lot of like, Mondays where Monday through Friday, are we using the same agents on like each map? Are you doing like the same comps, or are you switching agents day to day, or like how do you control the variance in practice in Valorant?
We have our main comms for maps right now, and then if I start feeling that we're like underperforming, or we're kind of like stuck for ideas, or the meta's getting like cancel, like just like counters essentially, that we just need to mix it up. So like practice for us is a good time to try a lot of stuff. I think although the players might not enjoy it as much as I do, I like just putting people on different on as many agents as possible. I guess that's why we see like Scream on Breach and Reyna and Sage kind of just in for just everyone being able. I think bans eventually will come in, like maybe like a year. I'm talking like really far away. So I want people to be comfortable on as many agents as possible.
Yeah, speaking of Scream, so we saw him standing in a lot on the lineup, and he's somebody that obviously everyone knows. He's got such a huge brand from Counter-Strike. He's known as a namer and everything, but he's the only non-British player on the lineup. He's Belgian. So what's the deal with the Scream pickup? How does that all make sense? How did that come into being?
Scream's just a beast, man. So we essentially lost Ardis to G2 when we were Fish. And then I wanted to make sure that we were taking a step forward instead of a step back. So I was kind of only was it was either Scream or like Smooya. It was someone we were going to try. I just wanted us to be able to
Oi.
progress and just have a better player. Scream, obviously, like in my mind, the best player at the game right now. So it was like that was who we wanted. And then we played some pracs. Super chill guy, gets on with everyone really well. Like the mood's really good in practice. We kind of need someone like that who's just has some experience and can just pick everyone up. So yeah, it was a really good fit. Honestly, it took us a while to get to where I thought we were good. Like we had like a rough like 2-3 weeks where we weren't that good. We had to switch around a few agents. We had to try some new stuff up. It's weird when like meta changes are kind of every week at the moment with like buffs and debuffs of agents. So we were trying to adapt as fast as we can. But no, he's like Scream's fitting in really well, and he's open-minded to everything. Like he definitely knows who he likes to play, but he's more than happy to play agents for the team.
Mike, do you have any questions? I don't want to leave you out here.
I was just gonna actually talk about like the meta changes, since some of them aren't really spurred on necessarily by like Valorant patches. Do you guys like, is it kind of like a week to week basis where may in practice you kind of notice something with one agent, you're like, okay, we're gonna incorporate this into our game plan, or is it kind of like more reacting to what other teams are starting to do when you look at like your comp?
It's like a mix of both, right? I think on Bind, we used to be able to, because obviously just everyone would just play like retake and stuff, and now people kind of worked out how to counter that a bit, so it's kind of changed. So it's kind of it is definitely a mix of both. It's just yeah, if teams start countering us, then we got to mix it up somehow. Whether it's play style in game or whether it's agent wise, but I feel like we've only explored like a little bit. There's still a long way to go. So you can pretty much keep the core of agents at the moment and just mix up like just strategies.
What do you think about all the fuss about EU versus NA and like the different play styles where NA is using a lot more duelists? I noticed in EU there's a lot more breach usage. So like how, as someone that's like, in the weeds, you're a coach, what do you have to say about the play style difference between the two regions?
So I don't know if I mean I think it goes team by team, right? Because if you look at I think G2, they again like even Mixwell will fully admit they don't have the best strats right now, but individually they play more like the typical NA team.
Super aggro Sage and like a Jet.
Yeah, exactly. And then you look at like Sentinels, who are playing a bit more like team based. they're kind of like more of what we'd class as the EU, because I think EU in general have better strats, and NA have better like maybe better players, but or more like puggy players. I'm not sure the best way how to word it, but there's definitely more like I think there's some really good individual plays that happen there, probably from the duelists, and whereas EU's just more team based. But you're starting to see it mix up a bit more. Like Sentinels are actually, you can tell they're cracking hard, man.
Dude, Sentinels look really, really good. I was
Yeah,
watching the
definitely.
game yesterday.
Do you think that?
Sorry,
Oh, go
sorry
ahead.
to cut you off then. Like just bringing up Sentinels, just Sinatra, just to like sing his praises for a bit. His utility usage.
Yeah.
I did watch him at the beginning, and I'll say that I was like, I was looking at it thinking, I'm not sure, like I'm not too sure if this was the right move for this guy. And then now the progress he's made is phenomenal. It's crazy. His utility usage is the best I've seen in game, hands down.
Speaking of Sentinels, Connor, and like the FaZe Invitational, like who do you think is the favorite? Are you thinking Sentinels at this point?
Yeah, for me, I'm not sure if it's like the fan favorite or what everyone else is saying, but Sentinels look, I'll say it, they look like the best team in the world. I think at the moment they look the most drilled, and individually they're all up there. They, I think they look like they're playing the best Valorant there is, whereas a lot of other people, it still looks like it's a weird version of CS.
You see, at this point of the game's life cycle, which is so far removed from CS, can you tell us a bit about what it's like coming up with strategies and like executes and stuff, how to approach rounds on both sides of the map? Because obviously in CS, there's still like there are still new strats being made and stuff, but generally people know rough ideas of how bomb sites are approached, etc. Whereas because we're so early on in Valorant, there must be a lot. Maybe I don't know if a lot is the right term, but there must be more or a level of room for more creativity and sort of like different ideas that you can play with. That would be my assumption. Can you just talk a bit about that and like how you approach coming up with strategy? Just because I'm curious on it because of the fact that the game is so new.
Sure. Yeah. So a lot of the stuff that I'm focusing on now is defensive strats. I want to get our defensive side a lot better, and then we can kind of move into our attacking side. And then the way that I'm doing that is finding like who's comfortable playing what agent, and then the best like strats I can do with that stuff. So like I saw you guys reviewing it the other week, like our gelato push on Ascent. Just like good combos like Omen flashes, and then people that can go aggressive, um, and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a lot of the stuff I'm trying to work out is just like solid combos, like Sova and an Omen as a combo, or like Cypher and a Raze as a combo. Like there's a lot of different things you can do with their skills. So it's just trying to find like, honestly, it's a lot of like two-man plays at the moment, instead of like full strats of just good, like loads of good two-man plays that you can do around the map. And then our attacking side, mate, we're just trying to go off over default. It's so hard to take map control in this game, especially against like operators. So we're really trying to just slowly focus on map control and how we can get map control without getting absolutely wrecked every time by an operator.
That's actually been something that some people have been complaining about, is that the operator is too strong and so on. Like, as someone that's focused on playing at the elite level, where you have 5 players that, as you say, like, you can actually use a utility in a way where you could maybe prevent the operators from doing so well. Do you think it's as imbalanced as people are suggesting on Twitter?
It's pretty up there. It is pretty up there. It is really strong. It is really strong. It's very easy to hold an angle and get a peek. But I also think no one is good at countering it yet. No one is good at map control. No one has got it down yet. It's super early, so it seems more broken than it is. I think it
agree.
is. I think it is OP, but it's definitely not as OP as it looks right now. But I do think it needs changes.
Do you think it's OP on like retakes for both sides, like retaking the bomb site and holding the bomb site? Like, Where do you think it is OP?
more holding. So like on defensive side, like if we can get 3 AWPs when there's operators down, we'll do it. Like it's one of those things where it's so hard to just be pushed off an angle, and even if you get pushed off an angle, it's very easy to just take that angle back. And even peeking, like if you're 100% sure where they are, you can peek really fast. Even like the jump peek, that's very similar to like CS Source that we used to see. You can just you can peek pretty fast. So yeah, I don't know. A few changes, definitely like a sound with the scope would be cool.